Oh, hi. How are you? Let me paint the picture for you right now. I'm staring at Monica, my girlfriend, who is making a wonderful steak and a wonderful dinner. It's about 10 o'clock at night. Do you want to say hi? Just say hi. I'm going to put this up anyway. Just say hi. Welcome to Usually Wrong, episode number 52. This is with Mike Wysocki, which is a great one. We'll get to him in just a second. Come see me do comedy. If you'd like to see me do comedy, you can come to the Youngstown comedy event, the first show that I am putting on. That is Saturday, February 16th at 8 p.m. in Youngstown, Ohio at, you guessed it, the Youngstown Saxon Club, which is great. Going to be a great lineup. We got Dan Ferrer, Chris Scriva, Derek Knobsnyder, Joey Welsh, Kaylee Dumas, so it's going to be great. I got the Not So Secret show. It's Alex DePula's Garage Show. That is Wednesday, February 20th, I believe, at 9 p.m. It's going to be fun. Comedy at the Sahara Association. That's Saturday, February 23rd, 8 p.m. Comedy show at the Erie Movie House. That's the Erie Movie House. 8 p.m. Saturday, March 2nd. And emceeing for Jeremy Piven at the Pittsburgh Improv. That's March 22nd and 23rd. All of that available at natenault.com. So come check it out. This is a good one. We got Mike Wysocki, who has been very kind to me. He's been a very nice guy to me. I met him, and we talked about it a little bit at one of the worst shows that I ever had at the Pittsburgh Improv. But Mike's been very nice to me. He, very funny comic in town, has been on the radio a good bit. And he also has his own podcast, the Mike Wysocki Show, which I had the pleasure of being on with Tyler Vittmeyer. So go check that out as well. And please, also, please subscribe to the show. 5 stars, subscribe. You know the gist. Please rate the show. I have 52 guests, and I've asked every one of them to leave a review. And then we have about 26 reviews, so don't laugh. Monica's laughing. Isn't it sad? It's sad. There should be more reviews of the show. You've reviewed the show. Have you not?
I have.
You have. Which one are you?
Free t-shirt. I never got that free t-shirt.
You should get the free t-shirt. I gotta make t-shirts. Please enjoy Usually Wrong, episode number 52 with Mike Wysocki.
When we finally got down to something which the individual says he really wants to do, I will say to him, you do that and forget the money. Because if you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You will be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living. That is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
If you could hold the microphone like right here.
Oh, okay.
This
right
is,
up into
you're a microphone guy.
Yeah, I've been
understand.
plenty of mic experience.
How are you in general?
I'm doing pretty good.
You
I'm
good in
in
general?
Yeah. I like this working at the airport thing. And eventually, I want to try to book some stuff and then, fly for free.
Exactly.
And then you can make a little trip out of it and come back with money.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
Yeah.
You don't have to spend all that money just to get to
if I
the
get
show.
a hotel, I mean, even if I have to pay for one at some point, I'm still gonna come out ahead with the airfare.
Yeah. Do you travel a bit? Do you travel a bit for comedy?
I've done like in shows in like Mexico and California.
Oh, Mexico.
Massachusetts, New York.
Yeah.
New Jersey, and I'm
Right.
going around.
Do you have to change your set typically based on the area that you go, or do you think comics even should do that?
I don't think you should necessarily change it too much. There's a couple things, like there's a couple jokes that I leave kind of open-ended. I mean, it's not like I didn't invent this thing, but it's like to just, pick the next town over and pick on that, or the next county over.
Yeah.
Because they all look down on something. So,
yeah.
Like, I have a joke here where I say, like, I saw it at, like, the Butler County Fair. And it gets a laugh because it's the Butler County Fair.
Right.
But, like, if I'll go up to, like, I don't know, like Erie County, and I'll do the same thing, but say like Crawford County, or whatever's next to it.
Yeah, I try and do stuff like that too, but I've done stuff like that when in the very little that I've been on the road, like done comedy outside of Pittsburgh. I'll try and make fun of something like that, and I'll always get it wrong. Like, what was the joke I did?
You have to ask people that sometimes, or you ask like, what's the dive bar or something, and then when you just mention it, people go nuts because it's like you're in with them.
Yeah.
You
and
understand.
It's also correct. And it's like you're creating a dialogue.
It is.
You're bringing an experience within that community.
Yes. Another thing you have to learn, too, is don't insult their town. You can make fun of it.
Yes.
You can kid it a little, but don't call it,
Yeah. My
use
dad
a horrible word to describe it or tell it. This place is a shithole. Don't say that because
well, it's not even
they
funny.
hate you.
Yeah, they hate you. It's not even a joke.
No.
I went to see Rush when I was in high school with my dad, and what is his name? Geddy Lee.
Geddy Lee. Yeah.
He came out and he waved a terrible towel, and everybody lost their minds, right? And then he, like, just to go on with the show, he threw it back towards the back stage. People, like, you could hear an audible groan when people did that.
Yeah,
it's like little community things, right? And it kind of lost people for just the Rush, right? Like,
they forgot about it.
They forgot about it immediately.
But there was those couple seconds where, like, he disrespected the towel.
Yeah, but think about doing that as like a comedian like me who's been doing it for 2 years. I mean, you lose a crowd immediately when you do stuff like that.
And there's something, if it's different with music, you can just plow over. They can forget about it.
Who cares?
But you're up there still talking, and they haven't forgotten what you said about the town.
Yeah, and
you gotta be careful.
Even that's an interesting thing to think about too. The distinguishing between music and comedy. Music, I'll go to a concert to hear stuff I've already heard. That then when something like that happens, like, okay, I can brush that off easily. But comedy, I don't care if I went to see John Mulaney this time last year, and there was a part of me where it was like, I look up to this guy. He's my number one, but he still has to be fucking funny for me to be on board. Isn't that interesting?
It is. It is tough too. I know. And then some people, like, it's like after a while you do the same things. Like, I usually don't like to, but there's some people get like it's similar to music, and they get a little bit of a comfort if they know some of your jokes. Like, there's no chance that you can come around and have a fresh 60 minutes when you were there like 2 years ago or something. Right. But there's some little bit, like, they have certain jokes they like to hear.
Yes.
I mean, I don't, but I find that, like, a lot of people seem to.
Yeah.
Like, they don't hear the exact same act, but if you throw in, some that are similar, like they know, or that's why I have a lot doing the same, but I always try to, even if it's a different word, even just for myself, even to
for yourself,
tag it, or, sometimes a tag will work and it works its way into the
and then
rotation.
You can.
Those are the best. Do you ever get one you just think up on the spot? It works.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh man,
well,
this joke's so much better now.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting more comfortable on stage after the last 2 years. I think I've been comfortable on stage for a while, but I'm getting to the point where I can kind of improv on stage with not obvious. I'm not at the point where I could do an entire bit now.
That's
like
terrifying
that.
to me.
What is Ian McIntosh's show? The one where you can't have any crowd. It's all crowd work, right?
Oh,
that scares the crap out of me. I'm not there yet.
I did it once, and I just
how'd it go?
Not very good, and I didn't think it would because that's not my thing, and it scared me to death, which is why I wanted to try it.
Yes,
I didn't know what to do really, so I just wound up like just kind of trying new material that I hadn't tried before.
Okay,
and kind of working it out because I'm not that good. Hey, what do you do? And then they come up with a joke right now. Well, what do you do over here? How long have you been married? It's just it's so done. It's not me.
It's done. But Derek Knopfsnyder took me to school on that thought. He showed me how crowd work can be done within your set. Like, you can write crowd work.
He does do it. Yeah.
He does do it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm in sales, right? I'm in sales, and that's my day job. And it's like, I have to have an answer for what you're going to say to make that sale. Whether you say yes or no to my questions, like, I have to have
that thought process. Stand up and crowd work to me, I'm looking at it in the same lens now. It's if I ask you, Mike, you married, how many kids do you have? What do you do for a living? I have to have answers to that, whether or not it's what I thought you were going to say.
That's true.
That's what I've really been trying to think of crowd work as.
Yeah, that's true. The only variable in that too is sometimes it's who you get up. Like sometimes it's something to work with. Sometimes they don't want any part of it. They won't give you any answers. Like yes, at the store, and that's it. No, that's all they'll give you.
Yeah,
but Knopfsnyder's, he's really good at that. He's
an absolute
really good at that.
Yeah. Oh, I remember I was sitting at I did a weekend at the Improv, and he was the feature when I was the MC. And I was sitting with his girlfriend and a couple other people, and I leaned over. I'm like, he's so good. He is so good at making this an experience. That's what it is.
Yeah, he does.
Seeing a comedian take a group of 300 strangers and making them all laugh at a similar, it's I don't know. I can't even describe my feeling with that whenever I see an amazing comedian do something like that.
That really is. I know. You just wish. I wish I would have thought of that.
You said something.
I could have done that.
You wish you could have done that?
Or
Why?
No, I know what you're saying. It's just like, that's one of those moments where like, man, I wish I could have thought of that. But give credit to the guy that did it. I didn't.
Yeah, sure. You said it scares me to death. That's why I did it. I already forget what you said that about. But do you do stuff like that? Oh, the show, the
show. See, not normally, but it's like it's kind of a comfortable outside comfort zone almost. Like I'm still within that realm.
It's stand up in general.
But the idea of going up and not having like a set mentally prepared in my mind is terrifying.
You don't do normally. Does fear drive you to do things?
I wish that it did. It more prevents me from doing things.
Oh, really?
I think
you're on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah. I'm not the kind of guy that runs towards danger, I guess.
Really, but you're doing stand up.
I know. It's weird. It's the one thing that I usually don't have any fear over. Like that particular show where you're not doing anything, that's fearful to me. But it's I don't know what it is. It's like, once you get up on stage, you just have to do it. You don't have any choice. There's no thinking about it. You just do it.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm almost surprised every time that I get up on stage. I catch myself thinking about that sometimes. Like I overcame so many things to say, I'm not going to do this tonight. Like I'm not going to get up on stage. You know what I mean? Like it's sometimes
can always find an excuse.
Crazy that I'm even there. I think about that in a lot of situations too. Like even when I'm at a bar with my friends, and this is an old topic, and I'm not saying anything new, but like sometimes I think like I cannot believe I decided to come to this. Like I got dressed, I got a shower, I brushed my teeth, and I'm here. I can't believe I'm actually here doing things in public.
I know. I've been doing it for like 18 years. I still get nervous.
Who?
Every time, even if there's like 3 people sitting out there. I don't know what it is. It's just I have to pace before each show, and I know what you're saying too, because I wrote for probably 3 years before I actually got the nerve.
You wrote.
I just wrote what I thought were jokes,
before you started doing stand-up.
Before I had the nerve to actually get up and
oh my
do
God.
it.
I've heard of people doing that.
It's like I really want to do this, and it was just a matter of I wound up going on stage just to impress a girl. That was my motivation.
Mike,
because I was talking. I'm still with her today, so it worked.
Really?
And we were just hanging out, and I was talking about, like, I was young, and I was just talking about how I wanted to be a comedian one day, and I just kept talking about it, like I'm writing stuff, and it's like, eventually, I can't just keep saying,
oh, that's so
and
funny.
Telling people that I'm gonna do it.
That's so funny.
And like, I gotta do it right now.
You didn't say I'm a stand-up comedian, right? You just said I'd really like to do stand-up.
Yeah.
Because when I first started, I did one open mic, and I'm like, I'm a comedian. I would tell work friends that. Like, I do stand-up comedy.
Your first time, did you invite family or friends?
I
did not either.
I didn't either. I just knew it would be a bad idea.
Even
my girlfriend at the time, she didn't want to come to it.
No, I didn't let her.
Didn't let her.
No, I didn't. I didn't let her, but I did. I actually didn't tell her when I, that I was going to do it because it's
What
like
was it?
You're
Just
risking
nerves
just
or-
just I'm really like shy kind of in public, but on stage like it's different. But it was just a matter of just I don't know. Like I always wanted to do it, but I just thought it seems so hard. Would I be able to do it? And like I just kept thinking, well, I'll just keep writing for now.
Yeah.
I just have a bunch of stuff, and then eventually I'll get up and I'll just keep writing. So I have a bunch of stuff. And when I first started, like no one knows how to do it.
No.
You can ask
Yeah,
people.
you're a fuck up from
But
the
I
start.
would just like this is so dumb, but I would write out before I went up. I would write out my entire set. And then just like try to memorize it.
Oh my god, I've done that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I did when I
like
first
like
started.
word
Yeah,
for
yeah.
word. I like hey everybody, and I write hey,
You
and
have
write it all out.
to. It's a
you don't know what to do.
safety thing. Like you say I wrote and then it took me so long to get on stage. I still kind of do that with like all this material, and it makes me feel good. Like I have like 4 or 5 bits I'm working on. Like I'm feeling really good, but I haven't said them on stage. It's not developing. I still do that sort of thing where it's a safety thing. It's a comfort thing.
And sometimes jokes will take years.
Yeah.
They really will. You just have to kind of chip away at them. I've had ones where like I'm about to just throw it away. Like, you have those ones where like I think this is funny, and nobody else thinks
nobody
it's
does.
funny. And then
Yeah.
sometimes it's a matter of just a couple of words that can change the whole thing.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's
Just some of
so
the
weird.
adjectives all change.
Completely. Like I had this joke I was doing about like it's like drug tests or whatever, and just how ridiculous it is that you can do meth and coke and that you could pass the test because you're off in like a couple of days.
Yeah.
And it was just the idea I thought was funny, but like if you smoke weed, those don't get you, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't getting anything. Like people were like just kind of nodding, and then I just added a couple words. I called like the guy that the doing the meth was like scratchy because he scratched his face, and the cocaine was douche.
Yeah.
And I said, and this guy, and then the punchline wound up being like scratchy and the douche. And just by saying those 2 stupid words,
Yeah.
everyone started laughing. And then the joke came together, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so weird. It was just 2 dumb words. And the joke's the same, like the idea, the premise, the idea of it that wasn't getting anything. But a couple of words I added to it, and then now it works like almost every time.
Yeah, what do I know? But it sounds like, to me, some of the bits that have not worked well for me, really good premises, but as soon as I add characters into that bit, that's when it works. Like,
Right.
you saying that, it's like, okay, you have this great premise, and now it's like, oh, I'm bringing, like, not real people, but real people into this. People, I found that people like that. I had a bit about Spirit Airlines that I'm working on now, building in a character of a stupid security guard where there's no security at Spirit Airlines, right? And
Right.
you be in the airline community, you might know.
I know.
But I'm 2 years into this, but I love figuring out stuff like that. Why does a joke work?
I know.
More than the other way that you were saying it. Are you still kind of infatuated by that process, like really curious about that sort of stuff?
Yeah, completely. And it's still, even after years of like, oh, this might be something I can figure out, I still can't figure it out. I mean, there's so many times where you just don't know until you try it. And it's just weird. Sometimes it's a certain word, a way you present it that I think there has to be some kind of connection, something that people can relate to. Like
Yeah,
they don't have to get the entire thing, but there has to be something that they can hang on to, that they recognize, that they see, or they get your point of view. But you just never know. There's so many things I've had where I thought, like, this is just dumb, and I'll just go and try it. Like, and then, like, all right, I guess I got to keep this one. And then there's ones where like I worked on for a while, and I'm like, man, I get excited. This is going to be a good joke. And it just, nothing.
I met you on possibly my least favorite night doing stand-up I've ever had. So I did a weekend at the Improv. We met at the Improv. I did a weekend at the Improv. It was the last weekend before it shut down, before it did for renovations. So I was the last one on the stage. And then as soon as it opened, we did that fundraiser. I was the first one on the stage when it reopened.
That's right. Yeah.
They asked me to do 20 minutes. and threw me up first. And
I mean, for doing it 2 years, that's a long time.
That's a long time for 20 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
I think I have 20 minutes, but there's something that sets inside of you when you're thrown into it. 20 minutes, which is longer for me, and when you have a feeling it's not going to go well, as you know what I mean? Like, you're standing in the aisleway like, this is not going to go well. I know it's not going to go well. And then I went up on stage. I did maybe 14 minutes. And then I got off stage, and I think I introduced you. I think you were right after me.
Yeah, I was right after, yeah.
And there was, I don't know. I just think it's interesting whenever I know a show's not going to go well, how it plays into your psyche when you're on stage. You don't feel like yourself on stage.
No,
anymore.
it gets in your head that you're not going to do well.
Yeah.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It is. Do you feel like you're completely yourself on stage in almost any circumstance? Do you feel like you're Mike Wysocki on stage?
I don't always do. I almost feel like it's not really me. I almost looked at it that it's somebody else doing. I know this sounds weird to say, because mine's not like 100%. It's mostly jokes. I mean, some things are personal, but I'm not going up there and just talking about my kids and my family. I mean, and that's when you're just talking about yourself. I always see it as almost like I can see me doing it from I could see me watching myself off stage, like this the guy that says funny things. It's hard to describe exactly, but I don't think of it as. It's weird to say you don't think of it as myself, because I am kind of being myself, but I don't see it that way, that I'm telling everyone that this is who I am. I just love telling. I love joke writing, the idea of jokes, and it sounds so corny, but I love the sound of laughter.
No, I get it.
That's what it's almost addicting. It's just And then every once in a while you'll hear someone that has a great laugh, and I can just male or female, whatever it is, and you just hear it, and it kind of makes your night. Like, I just
absolutely.
love that sound.
I completely understand.
And people are just having a good time, but mine's not exactly. They always say write what you know. I do kind of write what I know, but it's not. I don't know. It's not just all about me in a way.
Yeah.
But
do you feel like you're playing a character of yourself?
I kind of do play like I'm feeling
that's
a
what
character
it sounds
of myself.
like.
More of an open, more of a social, like a louder kind of version of myself. Like maybe the way I would be in my head, maybe, but not acting that I just don't act that way in public.
Yeah.
Like I'm a comedian, but I'm never the life of the party.
Okay.
Like I observe, I'll make jokes,
You're an artist.
make friends, but I'm not. I don't need to hear laughter all the time. I love it on stage, and it's fun to make people laugh. But I don't. If I go into a room, I don't try to come in and dominate. Like I'm the funniest guy in the room.
Sure.
Because most likely I'm probably not.
Yeah, but when you're on stage, to me, in my experience, it's an exaggerated version of Nate Knopf. Like, it really is.
It kind of is an exaggerated version. It's a good way to look at it.
Something I heard a while ago is you should be funnier on stage than you are off stage. And I don't know why that hit me so hard, because at that time I was not that funny on stage, and I think relatively funny off stage. I'm trying to channel more of that energy.
That's 100% true. Yeah, there's some people that are just on all the time, and then the few that are funny all the time, there's not too many. Like, good for them, But it gets a little tiring when people are just constantly going. For the joke.
So when did you start? 18 years ago.
Yes.
God damn, dude.
I know. And you were like 7.
Yeah, that's exactly
right.
What's that?
I know, that's weird. I lived in Pittsburgh. I was going to college, and then it was one of those things where I had a buddy say, "Hey, I got a job down at the beach, and I'm going to do concerts and stuff. You want to move down?" Like, I was like 23, so I moved down.
Isn't that fun?
So it's one of those ages where I was like 22, 23. I'm like, all right, I'll move down to Virginia Beach. So I just packed, and we packed all our stuff in like a think at the time I could get everything I owned in the Toyota Tercel, like a '93 Tercel, and went down to Virginia Beach.
Can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
Were your friends and family encouraging of that move?
Not really. It was just one of those things where you're kind of young and brash, and I just like, hey, I'm moving to the. I just told people I'm moving to the beach.
But I'll tell you, that takes balls.
Because I didn't know anybody when I got there.
But that's
except
the thing.
the guy that was
you
working.
knew the guy.
Yeah, and he was working like
kinda.
20 hours a day, like as a roadie at this amphitheater or something.
Yeah.
So I got like concert tickets for free, which is nice.
That's amazing. But I'm perplexed by those decisions in life. Like if I was 23 and didn't have any reason to move and went down to Virginia, I just don't think I ever would because of the baggage that I would have brought to myself. Like, I went to college, I did this one, I studied for this, and then I'm moving for this. But in the end, when I'm looking at 70, 75 years old, I would look back at that decision to stay put and be like, fuck, why was I so concerned about keeping a job when I was 23 years old? That's crazy.
That's so young. I know. You can find out.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that what you were thinking when you were making that move?
Kind of. It's like, and it was just where you're at that age and you still kind of have hope in your eyes and like anything's possible and the future looks bright. And I'm like, yeah, that would be awesome to live next to the beach. And I've lived like, I don't know, like maybe, I don't know, 100 yards from the ocean.
Oh my God.
Like there was a road
Amazing.
and then just some sand and then the ocean. And I lived there. And then I started doing comedy there.
Wow.
Because I was kind of like,
Why?
there wasn't, that was when I really started writing more and more when I got there.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know, like it was kind of back in my mind here, but I didn't want to start here, I think, because I didn't want people coming out and seeing me and possibly that kind of went with it too. And then eventually like some other friends from Pittsburgh wound up moving down there and then hanging out in Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
And then that's where I started doing comedy. And then they had a cool setup down there. The club's not there anymore. It sucked, but they had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Friday, Saturday they had headliners, and then Wednesday and Thursday they had open mics. Wednesday was straight open mic, and then Thursday they did an hour of open mic and a half hour of improv, which they made you do. Like the host would say,
God.
"All right, I'm gonna need Jen, Ed, and Mike up here," and you'd have to run up into the stage.
Oh my God!
And it was terrifying, but good training.
I bet
at the time, and you just had to do it.
Yeah,
you didn't have any choice. There wasn't hey, I'll do it. It was just you, and you get up here, and they did that. And I would just when you start off, like I hit like every single Wednesday and Thursday for like the first 3 or 4 years. I just went. I didn't miss one.
Really?
I went every single one.
You were addicted to it. Yeah.
Right off the bat, the first time I went on, I couldn't wait to like get back on.
Yeah.
And here's a weird thing: when the first time I went on, the guy that ran it, was a cool guy, but he was a Marine before he owned a comedy, so very strictly regimented.
Yeah.
To the minute on the show, like he would say, okay, he had it all set out, and this guy's going from 7:01 to 7:08, and if you went over the time that the light gave you, you're not allowed back for like 2 weeks or something like that. God. So the first show, he got everyone on the show, and then there was 3 people that hadn't gone up before. Just 3 people. I was one of those.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, the show had to be exactly 90 minutes, which I still think there's something to that today. That's about the attention span of people. You want it around 90. It doesn't have to be exactly like this guy, but around that. So he's like, after this and this, all right, he's like, that's 87 minutes. To that. So each one of you gets 1 minute. So I went up. I told some stupid joke about equating the first time with sex and something in prison. I don't even remember exactly what it was.
God, yeah.
But he got a laugh. And like that was it. Like that's it. Like, it was just done in 1 minute. But it was kind of cool because like I got it out of the way. It was positive, and like if I had to be up there for like 5-6 minutes and got a little laugh, and then I started to struggle.
Do you think you'd still be doing it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I might have.
I know people whose first time they eat ass and still go up.
Yeah, I get that. Those are really determined to do it.
Yeah. You were
I
trying it
probably
out.
would have went back up, but I can't say for 100%. Looking
Yeah.
back on it, I might have just been like,
Right.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
So when do you move back to Pittsburgh?
I moved back. I did comedy down there for about 4 years. I always look at it almost as like
Damn.
college training.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had and I did like 4 years there, and then I came back here. So this is around like 04, 05 roughly, and at the time, if you see like the open mic scene now, there's Sunday through
Oh, it's
I don't know if there's one
It's
on
amazing.
Saturday, but there's one Sunday through Friday.
other
I
day
think
of the
you
week,
could
yeah.
find somewhere to work. When I came up here, it was the Improv had once a month on like the second Wednesday they had
Right.
an
I think
open
it's
mic.
similar, yeah.
And then there was some place in Bridgeville called Scooby's that had one like every other Thursday night.
Okay. And that's it.
And that was it.
That's it.
That was all you had.
But
And
you
then-
were exposed to more whenever you were down there.
Yeah, it was more steady because it was the same club. It was a cool club, and they had it every single week. So I was guaranteed 2 days a week, and then I got a couple weekends here and there. And then I remember the first time I ever got paid, it was crazy. You remember the first time you get paid
Absolutely.
to do comedy?
I still have my $6
Do
that
you
I made
know?
from
You got to
ham
say, I got
buns.
20.
Yeah.
I got 25. It was, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, "It's
Isn't
25."
that crazy?
I've made $25 in my life before. It wasn't
Yeah.
that big, but it's like I got it for telling
I
jokes.
felt it was unearned. Like it was a good
Yeah,
set,
I
but
did-
I felt an unearned $6 that I was given by Derek Minto. Like
Yeah.
I felt that this is crazy that I'm receiving this. I still have
should be
a little
getting
set,
this.
the note card, the set list that I used. And there's something about
funny
being
for
paid to
Derek
it that
Minto.
makes you so nervous the first couple times.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a,
it does.
a paralyzing fear. It's like, okay, now somebody's relying on me. You can go to any open mic, does not give a nobody gives a fuck.
nobody
Who
cares.
cares? But
Nobody
when
cares.
somebody is agreeing to trade money for you to tell
Yeah,
jokes,
it is.
What
And then
there's a
you'll find there's a little more pressure. You think that way, like when you get like a hotel room, and like then you're like, I gotta,
Yeah.
like you can't half-ass it. You don't want to come in drunk or stupid.
It's
or
your
anything.
job.
It is.
His
Yeah, at that
career.
point, it's a job. Yeah.
Yeah.
And every time you're doing one, it's almost like you're auditioning for the next one.
Oh,
Like if you're at a club, you wanted them to come
I
back,
see
and
it,
if you're
yeah.
doing another, like when you're getting paid for one, like you gotta, really care.
Yeah.
Give an effort.
I feel that
Yeah,
way.
open mics or whatever.
Yeah, but I feel that way at arcade a lot. When I do a set at arcade, it's I want to play this room more because
Yeah.
it's the best room.
Yeah,
for
it
comedy.
is.
Like it really is. Like that upstairs room.
Yeah, it's a great room.
It's an unbelievably great room
Mm-hmm.
for jokes, and I do feel like that. And for some reason, I have a great set at arcade every time.
Do you have any place where you don't have a good set?
Oh,
I have one.
if I was gonna say open mics, I'd say Papa D's is
Okay.
always bad, and that's the only place that I don't think I've ever gotten a solid set.
Really, is it
And
one of
that's
those
pretty
places?
much it. The Smiling Moose, I've only been there a couple times.
Yeah.
But that's another one I don't do well.
Mine is it's someplace in Station Square, Buckheads. Have you ever done that?
No.
I don't even know if they do it anymore. A guy did it once a month for a few years. I think I went there like 8 times. 0 for 8. And I think I would just keep going back to like, all right, I'm gonna have screw you Buckheads. I'm gonna have a good set
Here's
this
a
time.
drive to it. Yeah.
And I had nothing. And I've seen other people have like okay sets, and I would settle even for okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's just a bad setup. It's one of those things where I had a show like the other Friday where they did every single thing wrong for a show, and it's like this. One is having it at a bar is fine, but when you leave all the TVs on,
Oh my
huge
Jesus
mistake.
Christ,
So
man.
this place doesn't that drive you crazy?
It does drive me crazy.
And then it's just people looking up at a TV with no sound,
Yeah.
and occasionally looking over at you because you're interrupting the news.
exactly, we're a sports game. Like I've realized you have to say something about it. Like
You
you
have
really
to.
do. At
Yeah.
Blue Dust one time I went over and there were a couple people there and there was a hockey game on.
Mm-hmm.
I walked over to the TVs and I was like, if it doesn't matter what's on this TV, you're gonna watch it more than if there was a hockey game in this bar right now. I wish I was on this TV.
I know.
It's like that's true.
Because I've
though.
seen ones like that where ones where they're just staring up and it's a commercial.
Yeah.
With no sound, and they're
cares?
just staring at it, and that's their focal interest. So that's always a huge mistake, is to have it at a bar with, even at a bar is risky because there's all that talking at the bar.
Sure.
But if they know it's a show, it can work.
But I'll say this: I am perplexed by pixels of any kind. I don't care what it is. I'm half tempted. Like I just have GarageBand open on this to make sure the levels are fine. But I am more perplexed and drawn to this than somebody sitting right in front of me.
It is. I know.
Anything, man. Like
It is
I'll,
true.
I'll
Yeah.
watch it. I'll watch it. Nothing. I'll watch an infomercial before I sit and talk with my friend. Like I really will. You know.
Watch action of stuff that's going on outside your door. If
Oh
it's
my
on the
God,
screen,
yeah.
then you'll watch
Who
it.
fucking cares?
I know. That was one of those. So that's one of the no-nos. Another thing this show did that was so bad that never works is they didn't charge a cover. If you don't charge a cover, no one gives a shit. Even
Who
if you
cares?
pay, even if you charge them $3, they paid $3. They're way more inclined to pay attention. If they
That's
paid
true.
nothing, they don't do anything.
Don't do anything.
What was the other one they didn't do? They didn't advertise anything. They didn't want to put any posters on the wall because it ruined the aesthetics. It was someplace in Oakland like this.
Jesus.
They didn't do that. They started it at 10 o'clock.
Oh my God.
Bad.
When I already want to go home.
Yeah.
I want to go home.
No. That's another thing I find as I get older, I get more excited about like shows that start earlier.
Oh, I
Because
know.
I'm
I bet.
like,
I really
hey,
bet.
this show's we'll be out of there by 9:30. I'll be home by 10:30.
I have said so many times, if comedy could be done at 10 in the morning, I'll quit my job today.
Oh, yeah.
I'll quit my job right now if I could do comedy at 10 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. I know, it just can't. I know, it just can't. I know. It's just, and then the later the show, it's the worse the crowd will be, just because there's a difference between 8 o'clock drunk and 10 o'clock drunk.
Yeah.
8 o'clock drunk's full of promise. You know, this could be a good night. 10 o'clock drunk, arms
It's over.
closed.
It's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
You're either sad, you're angry, you want to
Or you're
fight.
thinking about who you want to go home with.
Yeah,
Like, that's
you're
really
trying to
it.
hook up, you're
Yeah.
trying to fight, you're trying to go to sleep, you're
Yeah.
trying to go to bed. And then those late shows they're just rough. Like
All right.
nobody cares.
Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody.
And why would you?
It's
I
a
wouldn't
different
give a
kind
shit.
I wouldn't
Who
either.
cares?
And then it's hard to even stay up that late. I've had shows where like I've gone on at like midnight. And it's just ridiculous. Like, what are we doing here? No one's gonna laugh.
When did you start on the radio?
I started on the radio. I was here a couple of years, and I was Bill Crawford and we were the ones that were hitting that Scoobies and
Oh, really?
and the Improv. That was the
You
only
were
place
both
to
going
do
to-
it.
yeah.
We were both coming up together, and then Jimmy Krenn saw Bill at the Improv and invited him on the show, and then Bill was he put together his own open mic night, and he had Jimmy Krenn on it, and Bill said to Jimmy, he's like, hey, I want you to see this guy, just hang out. So he put me on like right after Jimmy Krenn, and then I did a set and it went well, and then Jimmy asked me to come on like the next 2 days later or something.
Wow. Yeah.
And then so I went on once a week, and then I didn't know anything to do, so I just did material. So
On the show.
just doing
Yeah.
material, like I just came up with it.
Like a comedian goes on a late
Yeah,
night show
like
and
doing
just does
that, but
material.
just doing my material. So and they said we're just gonna keep you around until you suck.
Oh my fuck.
Then we'll get rid of you, is what they basically said.
Oh my God.
So I went to like the first couple months, and then by like the third month, I was completely out of material. I didn't have anything left.
Oh my God.
So I
I'm
came up with this
stressed
thing
for
where
you.
I would just do like local news stories and make fun of that.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then they had me on like twice a week, and then I did like twice a week for 7 years.
Oh my
And
God.
then I cut back to once a week because it was just too crazy, and I wasn't
Yeah.
paying that much for it. And then they paid me more, and I had to do it once a week, and I did it for a total of 9 years.
Wow.
And then I got another show on Q92, which is just it wound up being a disaster.
Okay.
It was kind of like if you're on like the first place team. I always do sports analogies. Say like a basketball team, and then another team that's not quite as good and doesn't have as much money offers you a starting job as opposed to your role on the bench. You're probably going to take the starting
role. You're the
role.
Lakers and the 76ers.
Yeah.
That's I don't know anything about anything. But that's the best
Red Sox and the Pirates.
Yes,
say.
okay, sure.
So I was on the bench with the Red Sox, and the
city.
Pirates said, hey, we'll give you a full, you're just starting left fielder.
Don't you come into this podcast and diss the city. That's not fair.
I know. Our Pirates, they're the exception.
Do you follow sport? You have to follow sports.
Yeah, I do.
I'll talk about this for a second because I don't know, man.
Oddly enough, I understand people not getting it or liking it because it is. If you look at it, see, this is the way you are about that. Maybe I think that's the way I am about video games. Everyone loves video games, but I see them as just a colossal waste of time.
Oh, they are,
and I think that's how you people that don't like sports probably view it as a colossal waste of time.
I shouldn't
because
say
you're not really doing anything.
I shouldn't say I don't like sports because this morning I looked up Patriots or Miami beats Patriots in last play just to watch that one clip.
Oh yeah.
They did. So I do like sports and I do like, but I do like video games. I don't know. I didn't grow up with like a sports family, so me getting into football was late. Like it was sophomore year, of
right?
college.
Yeah.
But part of the reason I like sports is that there's an identity to it. Like there's an identity to really being into the Steelers. I'm a big Tottenham Hotspur fan. Do you know? Have you heard the Premier League?
Yeah.
Real close to Mike. So I like that, but it's like an identity. I like something from another country. I'm cultured.
Yeah,
that's part of the reason I like it.
It is kind of like that. Yeah. I mean, I get that. And they're just on all the time.
They're on all the time.
All the time, all year round. It never stops.
Yeah.
People always talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
So many good analogies.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I just baseball is actually my favorite sport.
Do you?
I just love baseball.
You like Pirates?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
You're a fan?
It's frustrating. Yeah. I'm a baseball fan. I like the Phillies and the Pirates.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania teams.
Baseball's too slow to watch on TV for me. I'll say that.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
That's usually the
Convince me I'm wrong.
Baseball's a great sport, man. It's tough. It's all angles and it's it's so hard. It's throwing a little ball 60 feet and 6 inches and trying to hit a round ball that's moving with a round bat.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just an interesting
There's
sport
no
to me.
lack of appreciation here for the skill of that because that's crazy. Like
and to be able to hit it.
To be able to hit it. I'll even say to catch it. Like if I see a ball fly, man, I'm not standing in the way.
I know. I
have a brain, and I will get it. I will fuck that up. I think about that sometimes too, like when there's a really long ball and I catch it. Part of me is just blown away by that. Like that seems like the easiest part. That seems so much more impressive to me than anything.
It does.
And then I'm still like, it's a slow sport.
Right.
I'll still say.
Yeah, I know. It's the slow drama.
Yeah, I get it.
It's not fast paced. It's not violent. So
I get it. It's not violent.
No,
that's
it's
part
not
of it.
violent.
People like Coliseum stuff.
Yeah,
that's why people
are.
That's
like
why NFL ratings are
fast
down.
and violent.
They do.
I'm always surprised the hockey's not bigger.
I agree with that.
My theory on that is, I think football's got everything. It's like a video game in itself. The other thing I think the thing that, and it sounds, I'm not to put people down, but another reason I think people like football so much besides the sport is that everyone in football is American. There aren't any African players. There aren't any European. There might be a kicker. There aren't any Mexicans or Canadians or Japanese people.
Yeah.
Basketball, hockey, and baseball are much more international sports. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I think it might.
I've never thought about
in baseball.
It's all American.
It's predominantly there's the Dominican Republic is a baseball factory. They push out maybe something like 20% of the players in the major league, and it's maybe 15-20%. It's a very high percentage compared to, and then in baseball you get players from Japan and Korea and Australia, and then basketball all over the world,
Everywhere.
soccer all over the world, hockey all over Europe. And a lot of those names, like people don't know, they didn't pronounce French names or African names or Asian names. But football, the only exception, once in a while you'll have a Samoan.
Yeah.
But everyone else is American.
Yeah.
It's
That's
an
interesting.
easy name
It's
to
an
pronounce.
all-American
They're
sport.
black or they're
It's
white. They're American.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I think that it does.
I don't have anything else to say to that because I don't know.
Right.
But
I'm
that's
not 100%,
such an
but-
interesting point.
But it's not the factor,
Yeah.
but it's a factor.
yeah.
Even if it's minor, it's it's an American sport. It's American players.
Yeah.
we don't have fancy Europeans or French names they can't pronounce.
Yeah,
or,
it's like but you're right on that actually, because it feels like when I cheer for Ben Roethlisberger, it feels like I'm cheering for somebody I went to high school with. Meanwhile, he was from somewhere else, like Aaron Rodgers. He
Yeah.
lives in Los Angeles. You're cheering for Aaron Rodgers, who lives in Los Angeles. But it still
Right.
feels like I'm cheering for my buddy who's doing well. I think maybe because I like James Conner and I went to Pitt.
yeah,
And
I
that's
love
actually
James
kind of
Conner.
part of it too.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, I love Connor. Too.
Did you become a better writer being on the radio so long?
Yes, I think I did because I had to do it. I didn't
had to.
have
That's
any
what I
choice.
thought. You had
And then I would come up with like just stuff that was going on in the news and kind of make fun of it. And I would just be like writing, that morning because it was stuff that happened that day. So it was like there would be times where like I'd went on at like, I don't know, like 9 or something. And I'd be in like the room and it's like 8:42 and I'm like, oh man, I don't have that much right here. Like
Yeah.
I have to like, and there were some times where I just had to maybe ad lib a little or,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was a fun experience though.
That's why I like shows like The Daily Show, and that's why I like Weekend Update. It's you are commenting on stuff so quickly. There's such a quick turnaround
It is
to
quick
producing
turnaround.
content.
Mhm.
I love that though. I really do.
I love that process.
I hold on to material too much.
That's the only thing I hoard.
You hoard it, yeah.
Anything else like stuff I don't care about, like even belongings. Like I like throwing stuff away, but I keep everything that I've ever written.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just,
I do too. I keep a
in
notebook.
case
and
I
keep
might have to go
everything.
back and refer to it. It's not, there's stuff I haven't looked at in 9-10 years.
Yeah.
It's sitting there, but I'm not gonna throw it away.
Why would you? That's the thing. I did that when I first started. I deleted a big note that I had on my phone of a lot of material and started fresh. But that's really the only time I've done that.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of why I'm drawn to political humor a bit. Why I like The Daily Show. Why I like stuff like that.
yeah.
Is there's so much to comment on, and there always has been. Now it's how can we make a joke out of it so quickly, and then get rid of it, and then it's done.
That's it.
And then it's on to the next joke. And I like that. Like I wish I was better at that.
It is fun to do. I love that process because it's an instant thing too. Like you get that feedback. Like this is what I just wrote this like 10 minutes ago, and I'm telling this in front of all the people that are
Everybody.
listening. So
A
it's a
lot of
little
people.
nerve wracking.
Yeah.
Because the first time they told me, they were like, "There's gonna be like on average, there are like a couple 100,000 people listen to the show." And I was like, "Oh man, I wish you didn't tell me that the first time I went on." So I went to
I don't want to know.
I went to bed that night, the first time I was going on a show, and I had a dream that I was going on the show and that I bombed horribly. That I went in and I had this, I didn't know what the studio looked like. I saw Jimmy once. I didn't know what Randy looked like. So I was just all guessing as to what, what the room would look like and what they would look like. And in my dream, I went in and I was telling, I didn't even know what I was saying. And both of them were just staring at me and they just kind of said, "All right, well, thanks for coming in." And I got up and left. And then I woke up and I was like, "Oh, wait,
Oh my
I got to
God.
go in right now."
Oh my
And,
God.
it was
Oh my
so
God. Mike
terrifying.
Wysocki. That's like,
It was a horrible dream.
dude, isn't that so awful?
It was in my
I
head
had
the
stuff
whole
like
time.
that too.
Like, why did you tell me there's that many people? Like, if you just... And then when I got in there, he was smart. He said, forget that there's all those people. They just play to the guys in the room. And that,
Yeah.
one of those simple things that kind of helped me a lot. Like, all right, just try to make these guys laugh.
Yeah.
Because if they laugh, then the other
You
people
think
will
that helped
laugh.
you a good bit?
I think it completely helped me. It kind of put me at ease because I couldn't get all these people listening out of my mind. And then I had the dream. And then when I got in there, the same guy that was the producer said, just play to the room. Just don't worry about the people
Yeah.
that are like, oh, okay.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's
it
fun.
is, yeah.
Some advice I've gotten recently was don't care what the comics think at the open mic, care what the crowd thinks.
That's called playing to the back of the room. It's fun to
Yeah.
do because your friends are laughing, and sometimes you'll write a joke for them, but it doesn't get you.
It doesn't
anywhere.
help.
It doesn't.
It
help
doesn't
at
get you
all.
booked for anything.
Nothing.
I
No,
agree
It
with
doesn't. It's kind of. I mean, you have to do it. I mean, you can throw stuff out for your boys in the back.
Yeah.
Do just a reference or something, but you don't want to.
It doesn't
like,
matter at the end of the day.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really
yeah.
matter.
And they're not really laughing at your material. They're laughing because you're struggling.
Yes.
And
Oh,
it
that's
is funny
fun.
though.
That's
I
fun.
laugh at
Yeah.
comedians. It's
Yeah.
funny. You feel bad for them, but at the same time, it's funnier. It's almost like the more you know them, the funnier it is.
I agree. Well, dude, we're almost at an hour. So, first of all, thank you for doing this.
Oh,
I really
absolutely.
appreciate this a lot. So, I've last question for you. I ask every single guest.
Okay.
It's an easy one. It's fun. We didn't get too deep in this. I kind of get deep sometimes. So it's already been a fun episode.
Yeah,
So,
it has been.
Okay, so I started dating this girl, Monica, about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Her friends asked me this question, kind of like test the water, see if Nate's like a cool, hip, with the times kind of kid.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you this question. Mike, you are at a bar.
Mm-hmm.
The night is going poor. The bartender, I say it every time. The bartender was revealed to be a Nazi, and there's quicksand in the back, has swallowed up pretty much everything, including like 12 Asian couples. It's a bad night. But I got to come up with new things to say. I've said that for 55 episodes in a row. But it is also karaoke night, and it is your job, Mike Wysocki, to resurrect the entire night. What song are you singing to do that?
To bring it all in,
Yeah.
to get it, even to appease the Nazi at the bar.
You got to do what you got to do.
You got to do
You don't
what you
have
got
to
to do.
appease the Nazi. I probably wouldn't if I was your, but to bring the energy, the vibe back.
To bring the energy and the vibe back, I'm gonna have to just go on the strength of the song, not necessarily the words of it. I got to go with this one because I think it's my all-time favorite. Are you a fan of 80s music?
Yeah, absolutely.
See, I noticed that a lot of kids. You're an adult, but like people born in the 90s
I like 80s music.
love the 80s.
I really
music.
do.
My favorite all-time 80s song is by a one-hit wonder, and I love the name of their the name of the band. The name of the band, I don't know if you'll know the song from, is Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Nothing.
Dexy's Midnight.
Write
It's a
it
great
down.
because Dexedrine was a drug, and they were running in the midnight. But the song is "Come On, Eileen."
Oh yeah.
That
of
song
course.
is a party. That song, like I'm as white as it can be, and like you'll never see me dancing, but that's the closest I can get to getting up from the beginning of the violin sounds.
Yeah.
And do, do, do,
Yeah.
do, do, do,
Oh,
do,
that's
do, do. It's just like a party. I think that's the one that would get people to their feet. I think that would make the Nazis smile. I don't know what I could do about the quicksand, but I just love that song.
I love it. I love it, and you're also pointing out something to me. I know a lot of songs like that, like 80 songs. I have no idea who wrote it.
Yes.
If you told me that band name, I had no idea.
DEXY''S Midnight Runners. That's their name.
Interesting.
That was it. That was all they had. Australian band. Before
they sound Australian.
they were Australian. That was Australia was about to hit it big. Then Men at Work came out, and
Yeah.
another all right band, and Midnight Oil. They're all the big Australian bands from the 80s.
What songs did Midnight Oil do?
Midnight Oil, Beds Are Burning.
Nothing.
You've probably heard it.
I probably heard
maybe, but you know, Come On, Eileen.
Oh, absolutely.
I love that song.
That's
I don't know
great.
what it is. I don't know what
You
it
gave
is.
me a great why, and that's really the only thing I wanted to know is why.
That gets people going.
It does.
It's a
I get it.
party. The whole song. It's making me smile thinking about it. And I think it would make the Nazi lighten up a little.
Lighten up a little.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on,
Don't
Nazi.
stop being a Nazi.
You're not a fine person.
Do you have anything you want to plug?
I got shows all over the place. I don't know if there's anything.
Shows all over
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna be in Friday. I'm gonna be in Donegal at the Donegal Event Center, along with a couple people. And I'm up in Erie on Saturday, and then I got a bunch of stuff. Oh, a good one I can tell you about. This will give people plenty of time. April 20th, I'm going to be at the Collar. It's a private club in the South Side, the Collar Club.
Okay.
It's in the South Side, along with Mike Travers and Ray Zawadi, my fellow airport people. We just booked that show together today. Have you seen Mike Travers?
Yeah, I've seen my show.
And you know Ray? Okay, so that's a
Yeah.
great show.
Yeah,
They're both
it's great.
very, very funny. So.
I'll plug it. Or can people
Or even come out to
event?
it if you want. It's April 20th. It's called the Collar Club, KOLLAR. Tickets are 10 in advance, $15 at the door.
KOLLAR.
It's April 20th. I mean, that's a good one. Like, that's one that's fairly local, and I know where it is, and I know the lineup is good. I have lots of things in my phone. Like, I've got shows, and I'll just have, like, in the thing, I was looking at one the other way, and it just said Ray. Which meant, okay, Ray Zawodny got me a show. Right. I'm going to call him up and find out where it is and everything. I just said Ray. Like, I've had the ones like that, or just Travers or Colin. That's all it's written. Nate.
Nate. When I invite you on a show, it better
Nate.
just say
Just
Nate.
says Nate. That's all I need to know.
That's great, man. You get to sign us off. You get to say anything you'd like. I've had people swear at me. People say inspirational stuff. Say whatever you'd like.
I would say if you're listening, keep listening to Usually Wrong. Because that's a great title.
Thank you.
It's a humble title.
It is.
It's admitting that maybe you can be wrong. You're not always wrong.
Not always
but
wrong.
Usually wrong. Usually wrong.
My girlfriend uses it against me now.
Does she
really does. She really does. Yeah, she uses it against me.
It backfired.
It does. She's like, I'm right about everything. I'm like, no, you're not. She's like, well, you're usually wrong. I'm like, that is not fun. That is not something I appreciate.
So keep listening to Usually Wrong and check out mine. You have been a guest on mine. I do one.
Yes.
It's Mike Wysocki Show.
It's a great 20-minute.
It's a 20-minute,
listen.
quick, easy, and we do it. It's all about generations. About
I love it.
I am
really do
Generation
enjoy it.
X.
I really
Tyler
do
is
enjoy
the millennials, and then we had you on as a millennial. And if we have other guests on, we're gonna try to maybe get like a baby boomer on, or maybe a Generation Z. I got a
Tyler?
niece. I don't know. Have them make their list, but yeah, like
I really do enjoy it.
Thank you very
much.
much.
It's a fun show. Thank
and
you.
great job with this. Great title.
Thank
Very
you.
smooth interview.
I appreciate it, man. It's easy. It's easy. Thank you.